Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Circle English, the podcast where you learn practical, real English for everyday life. My name is Joni, and I'm very happy to have you here today. In this episode, we are going to talk about a very useful and common topic, how to talk about your lunch break in English. Talking about lunch is a great way to practice English because it is something most of us do every day, whether at work, school, or even at home. We can talk about what we eat, where we eat, with whom we eat, and even what we do during our lunch break. I will guide you step by step with simple vocabulary, natural phrases, and real-life examples so you can describe your lunch break confidently. Let's begin by talking about common lunch activities. You can say, I usually eat lunch at noon, or I have my lunch break at 1 p.m. You might say, I eat at my desk, I eat in the cafeteria, or I go out for lunch with my colleagues. Some people like to take a walk after lunch, so you can say, I go for a short walk after eating, or I rest for a few minutes before going back to work. Next, let's talk about what you eat during lunch. You can describe your meal by saying, I usually eat a sandwich and some fruit, or I have a salad and a juice, or I eat leftovers from home. You can also talk about hot meals. I have rice, chicken, and vegetables, or I eat pasta with tomato sauce. If you like snacks, you can say, I sometimes eat chips or a chocolate bar. Describing your food is a simple way to practice English vocabulary. You can also talk about how often you eat certain foods. For example, I eat salad every day. I rarely eat fast food, or I sometimes order pizza for lunch. This helps you describe habits and routines, which is very useful in English conversation. It's also helpful to talk about lunch with others. You can say, I usually eat lunch with my coworkers, or I eat lunch with my classmates. If you eat alone, you can say, I usually eat lunch by myself, or I prefer to eat alone to relax. Sharing this kind of information makes your English more natural and conversational. Now, let's talk about asking questions about lunch. You can ask someone, what do you usually eat for lunch? Where do you eat lunch? Do you go out or eat at home? Do you eat with friends or colleagues? What is your favorite lunch meal? Asking questions helps you practice speaking and encourages conversation. You can also give advice or share opinions about lunch. For example, I think it is important to eat a healthy lunch. I recommend eating vegetables and fruits. Or, it is better to avoid fast food every day. You can also share your own preferences. I like eating sandwiches because they are quick, or I enjoy hot meals because they are more filling. Talking about time and duration is also useful. You can say, my lunch break lasts 30 minutes. I usually take 1 hour for lunch, or I have a short lunch because I have a busy schedule. You can also describe when your lunch happens. I eat at noon every day, or I usually eat around 12:30 p.m. Let's practice a full example of describing a lunch break. You can say, I usually have my lunch break at 12:30 p.m. I go to the cafeteria with my colleagues. I eat a sandwich, a small salad, and some fruit. After lunch, I take a short walk around the building to relax. Sometimes I drink coffee or tea before going back to work. I enjoy my lunch break because it gives me time to rest and talk with my friends. This example shows how to describe your lunch break in a complete, natural way. Now, let's imagine a short conversation about lunch. Hi, what do you usually eat for lunch? I usually eat a salad and a sandwich. Do you eat lunch alone or with others? I usually eat with my coworkers in the cafeteria. How long is your lunch break? I usually take 45 minutes. Sometimes I take an hour if I have time. Do you do anything after eating? Yes, I go for a short walk and sometimes read a book. This conversation shows a realistic way to discuss lunch breaks naturally. You can also talk about special lunch habits or routines. For example, I bring lunch from home because it is cheaper, or I like to try new restaurants for lunch. I sometimes skip lunch if I am very busy, or I like to eat light meals to feel more comfortable in the afternoon. Talking about routines makes your English more detailed. Another useful topic is expressing feelings about lunch. You can say, I enjoy my lunch break because it helps me relax. I feel tired if I skip lunch. I feel happy when I eat with friends, or I feel refreshed after a healthy lunch. Expressing feelings adds a personal touch to your English. Finally, here's a speaking challenge for you. Tomorrow, try to describe your lunch break in English using at least 7 sentences. Talk about the time, where you eat, what you eat, who you eat with, what you do after eating, and how you feel. For example, my lunch break is at 1 p.m. I eat in the cafeteria with my coworkers. I usually have rice, chicken, and vegetables. After lunch, I take a short walk outside. I feel relaxed and ready to continue working. Sometimes I drink coffee before going back to work. I enjoy my lunch break because it gives me time to rest and chat with my friends. Remember, talking about lunch is practical and fun. Practicing these sentences every day will improve your English fluency and help you communicate confidently about your daily life. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Circle English. I'm Joni, and I hope you feel more confident talking about your lunch break in English. Keep practicing every day, and I'll see you in the next episode.